Welcome to About Mansfield. It is your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Sellmark studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniels, she's out there in Studio West. This is the April 23rd, 2025, 268th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
The polls are open and early voting is underway in Mansfield.
State representative receives community feedback after school voucher vote.
A new chapter in innovation has begun in Mansfield. Local organizations offer seminar to benefit local veterans.
Local clergy invite you to gather on National Day of Prayer. And in sports, FIFA considers Mansfield. And in the talk segment, we will learn about a new innovation hub coming to Mansfield with Sellmark CEO James Sellers and Senior Construction Manager Brent Johnson.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this: an enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grandview Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grandview has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grandview Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
Hi, I'm Corinne Fiagami, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
Early voting is underway in Mansfield, and voters are being encouraged to make their voices heard ahead of Election Day on Saturday, May 3rd. Early voting runs through Monday, April 29th, giving residents a convenient opportunity to cast their ballots before the big day. Municipal elections may not grab the national headlines, but they have a powerful impact on everyday life, determining local leadership for our city council, mayor, and school board. There are 3 city council races and an equal number of Mansfield ISD school board races on this year's ballot. It's an important election as these decision makers directly influence public safety, infrastructure, education, and local services. Officials are urging everyone to take advantage of early voting options to avoid long lines and ensure their vote is counted. To find your nearest polling location and to view a sample ballot, visit our website, aboutmansfield.com, and click on the Campaign 2025 link. A new chapter in business and innovation began on Monday as Sellmark Corporation and the City of Mansfield broke ground on a major new innovation center development.
And Colleen, the Innovation Center is called Verdexium, and we will talk with a couple of the movers and shakers that made it all happen in the long-form interview a little bit later in this episode.
The press release called it, quote, a historic investment and parental empowerment in Texas public education, end quote. But that's not how the masses on social media thought about State Representative David Cook's vote in favor of HB 2, the highly controversial Education Savings Account or school voucher bill. The idea behind the bill was to give families more choices about where to send their kids for education, allowing them to use public tax money for private education. The controversy behind the bill? People who opposed the bill argued that it would take funding away from public schools and benefit only those who could afford to pay the difference between the voucher and private school tuition. Supporters believed it would create competition and improve education quality. After the bill passed, Cook's constituents took to social media, posting comments such as, "You've betrayed your hometown. Sad you didn't listen to us." And "This is the political hill your career will die on." The Texas House of Representatives passed the school voucher bill with a vote of 86 to 63, marking a significant legislative victory for Governor Greg Abbott and advancing Republican efforts to reshape the state's education system.
You've served in the military, or perhaps someone you know has, and earned the title of veteran. But when you've reached that veteran status, how much do you know about veterans' benefits, especially in the areas of mental health, disability, compensation, VA healthcare, and other services that may be available in the Metroplex? The annual Veterans Benefits Seminar is an annual event right here in Mansfield. It's hosted by the Mansfield Veterans Memorial and Tribute Foundation. And with us on the phone is the chairman of said foundation, Tim Milligan. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Well, thank you for hosting this and having me.
First of all, let's talk about the main goal of the event and how this event got started.
So we got started, I guess it was about 5 years ago. I was asked to speak at Bethlehem Baptist Church at their little veteran gathering. They have a veteran group. And when I left there, I said, this is such an important topic that we've got to do better and expose these things to more people. So we went about that effort and went across the state to get the very best speakers and organizations and bring them to Mansfield to inform and advise our local veterans. So we did that, and we created an agenda. And it's funny, the first time we had an agenda, we brought in congressmen and senators and state representatives to speak to our veterans. And immediately our veterans go, that's not really what we're looking for. What we want is folks who understand the process and our plight. So we redid it. The next time we don't have, and since then we don't have a bunch of dignitaries. We have folks that represent organizations that actually help veterans navigate the system.
Yeah.
And those of us that have been through this process can tell you that it's not an easy path that you have to take. Often, at every single seminar, veterans will come up to us and go, I didn't think it could be done. I didn't think that I would be able to qualify or get what I needed. But we can help them do that if they just show up.
You mentioned guest speakers. Can you give us a preview of who's speaking and what veterans can expect to learn?
Yeah, so the Texas Veterans Commission, Texas has an amazing portfolio of benefits that are for Texas veterans. And so the Texas Veteran Commission will be there, and they are connected, I want to say 100 plus different organizations that provide guidance and benefits to veterans. So let's just say, for instance, you need home health care. They can help you connect with the providers that get that for you. Let's just say you need a service dog. Well, you know what? We can connect you with the organization that provides service dogs. Let's say you got injured during your military service, and when you got out, you just said, let me tell them. And you told the VA, or you told your active duty component, and you got denied, which 90+%, unless you're just missing something, get denied. And so you just go about life. And then you get a little bit older, and the Agent Orange starts taking over, or the cancers start taking over, or those aches and pains that you normally wouldn't have start playing a role in how you live your life. We can connect you with people who can help advocate for you in the VA system to get you approved, if you've earned it, to get the services from VA.
The seminar is this weekend. Tell everybody the who, what, when, where, and why the Veterans Benefits Seminar.
The who is every veteran within the sound of your voice in Mansfield, in Tarrant County. We don't care where you come from. Make your way to the old Mansfield High. They call it the Rock Gym. So there's some construction in the front, but you go to the back, there's plenty of parking. You'll see some flags. If you're there by 8:30, we'll kick it off, and we'll start with folks who will help you navigate your claim or educate you about services that are available to you. For instance, the PAC Act just passed recently, the last year and a half, and that opened up a whole new set of benefits to our Vietnam era veterans and some of our Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, things that they weren't eligible for before, that they can now get help for because they were in some environments that probably weren't the healthiest environments you could be in. Other than getting shot at, there are some chemicals that were involved.
Sure.
And we're starting to see our older veterans are starting to have issues with these. I've been talking to a veteran here in Mansfield, and I won't use his name, but I've been after him for, I guess, since we started, 3 or 4 years. And he kept telling me, no, it's not what I need. No. And this guy's a Vietnam era veteran and had a bad experience when he returned, but finally got him to come. And today he's over 100% disabled. That doesn't mean he can't get around and still work. What it means is his medical situation is helped by the VA.
Yeah.
He gets a stipend from the VA. If he needed home health care, he could get that from the VA. So there's a whole host of things that can help make his sacrifice easier to navigate.
It's the annual Veterans Benefits Seminar. It's proudly presented by the Mansfield Veterans Memorial and Tribute Foundation. It's Saturday, April 26th, 08:30 till 12 noon. It's at the Mansfield ISD Administrative Building, 605 East Broad Street. Tim Milligan's going to be there. Go shake his hand and thank him for his service. Tim, thank you for being on About Mansfield.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for helping us get the word out.
It's an annual event here in Mansfield. It's called the National Day of Prayer, where citizens are invited to get together at one of 2 hospitals, or both hospitals if you're feeling adventurous. With us on the phone to talk about National Day of Prayer, all the details that go with us, we have a couple of people here. The director of National Day of Prayer for the Mansfield Churches for the City is Greg Buckles, and Pastor John Thomas, who is the president of Mansfield Churches for the City. First of all, gentlemen, welcome to About Mansfield.
Glad to be here.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Greg, let's go ahead and start with you and talk about, because we had you on the air last year, let's go ahead and talk about what is National Day of Prayer and how can people get involved here locally in Mansfield?
National Day of Prayer is actually a national organization, and the goal is to just pray for our country, our people, our first responders, just to pray for our world. And so it's a great organization, great opportunity for people to just focus on a day of just praying. In our community, we do several things during the course of the day. In the morning at 8:30, we meet in the rotunda. Just those of us who are going to a meeting with the mayor on with nonprofits will meet in the rotunda at 8:30 and pray. During the day, we meet at a couple of our businesses. This year, it's going to be Market Street and also Walmart. And then also at the Mansfield Mission Center Thrift Store, we're going to have locations where people can come and we pray with them. And then also our hospitals are setting up tents at 2 of the locations. Market Street will be Methodist Mansfield. Walmart will be the Texas Health Hospital. Mm-hmm. And then at the Mansfield Mission Center will be the KCBI Radio. We'll set up a prayer tent there. And so we'll have opportunities to pray with people. And then in the evening at 6 o'clock, we'll have an event that will be for the community to come. That will be we'll have choirs at each location. We'll have a short 20-minute program where we'll have a couple of people praying, the chaplain of the hospital and then one of our pastors. And then we'll do a prayer walk where anybody can pray as they walk around the hospital, people in the hospital being able to look down and see that they're being prayed for, as well as those who are working at the hospital. And so we invite the community, especially to that evening event at 6 o'clock at either one of our hospitals.
So it sounds like there is a great opportunity for the community to get involved, whether it's 8:30 in the morning or 6 o'clock at night or somewhere in between. Pastor John, again, the president of Mansfield Churches for the City, how did the city of Mansfield or the Mansfield Churches for the City get involved with National Day of Prayer?
we used to gather around the flagpole at the city hall, and we used to pray for the city. And all our churches would take shifts, and all throughout the day we'd pray for the city. And we made a little shift, and we said, how about instead of praying for the city, not that we want to give that up, every pastor in the city loves the city and prays for the city, but how about if we can pray with the city? And so that's where the change of our last couple of years, where we will go into the city at Walmart and Market Street and be able to pray with people. And what a difference that is, rather than just assuming people are going to walk into our doors and we would love to pray for them anytime anybody wants to walk in, but to be out among people in the city and have one day intentionally to set out to say, we want to pray with this city, and whoever's there, you can just walk right on up to us. We have lots of people in this city who want to pray. And this is where I love our pastors in the community. We are united on loving Jesus and wanting people to experience the freedom and the joy that comes from having a relationship with him. So it has been a wonderful experience for me in the 9 years I've lived here in Mansfield, and I look forward to this day every single year. And our church has already signed up, and I know we'll have all of those times filled. So we're looking forward to it.
How long has the association been involved with National Day of Prayer, and are you seeing an increase in the amount of Mansfield residents getting involved year after year?
We started a number of years ago, probably at least the last 10 years, where we've been doing community events. We used to go up to the Performing Arts Center and have an evening event, and that just included all the cities, all the churches, and we had a band play and made it more of almost a church event. And what we were finding is the people that were coming were people from our own congregations, but wasn't really reaching beyond that as much. And so we decided to change it 4 years ago to this format that we're doing presently, to pray with rather than just for our city. And that's been a real exciting change because it involves a lot of our community. In fact, somebody had said that when we encourage people to do a prayer walk around the hospitals, the neat thing about it is usually people are praying for you. You're standing in the audience. You're just sitting there listening to somebody pray on your behalf or voice the prayer on your behalf. And this gives people the opportunity, and it's almost like we trust people to do their own prayer, to pray for the community. And so they have the opportunity to actually pray and not just listen to somebody pray. And so we've noticed that that's been a neat thing. And people from our choirs that have come, some of them didn't know about the event before, but they took the opportunity to do the prayer walk with us, and some of the parents as well. We have included the school district and so we're trying to include more of the different pockets of our community that might be interested in participating. And so we've noticed because of that, it's created more of an interest. I think after COVID as well, since we've been including the hospitals, that really made people aware of what our hospitals are doing and the needs there. And it's really grown, I think, in large part because of that. And so we've seen quite a bit more people, and even people that aren't necessarily going to any one of our particular churches that are getting involved as well. So it's an exciting event.
Pastor John, let's go ahead and bring this on home. Give me the who, what, when, where, and why, how people can get involved with National Day of Prayer right here in Mansfield, Texas.
At the City Hall in the morning, probably it's after our community partners meeting, so anywhere between 8 and 8:30, we'll gather in the rotunda and begin our prayer time there, and that's a wonderful beginning of that journey. And then throughout the city, throughout the day, at our locations, out at Market Street and out at Walmart, that we're going to have people there who will be willing to pray for you. And then that evening, invite people to go to one of the two hospitals and come there and pray, and we get an opportunity then to pray for all those people at the hospital as well, as we walk around and do a prayer walk around those hospitals as well. So it's going to be a great day, and we're already praying that God is going to do miracles in people's lives. And boy, if there's something you want to ask of God, this is a great day to do that.
It's Thursday, May 1st. It is National Day of Prayer right here, not only in Mansfield. It is a national event, but here in Mansfield, we've got our own thing going on. Again, starting 8:30 in the morning, or around that time from City Hall, all the way up to the two hospitals here in town, Texas Health and Methodist Mansfield, at 6 o'clock at night. Lots and lots of events going on in between the City Hall and the hospital sandwich, if we will. Greg Buckles, the director of the local National Day of Prayer, and Pastor John Thomas, the president of Mansfield Churches for the City. I appreciate both of you, and thank you for being on About Mansfield.
Thank you so much.
Steve, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. And thank you for all your work you do with About Mansfield and for our city.
FIFA says yes to Mansfield, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
I'm Philip Washington, Chief Investment Officer of Stonehill Wealth Management and host of the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. First book I read in college was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. And since then, I've read tons and tons of books on money. And what I've done is taken those lessons, simplified them, and I talk about those lessons on my podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. So come hang out with us. We're on every major platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. Wealth Building Made Simple.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, Mansfield is now under consideration as a potential team-based camp for the FIFA World Cup 2026. A team-based camp functions as a nation's team training and residential hub during the group stage of the tournament. Teams are expected to choose their locations in December of 25, following the final draw. Mansfield Stadium is among 14 new sites added in the third round of locations being evaluated, bringing the total number of candidates across North America to 62. It is one of 6 North Texas locations currently in the running. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the first with an expanded format of 48 teams playing matches in cities across North America. AT&T Stadium in Arlington will be referred to as Dallas Stadium during the tournament and will host 5 group stage games and 4 in the knockout rounds. Scheduled to open in 2026, the Mansfield Stadium is a multi-sport venue with a seating capacity of about 7,000 people. It will also serve as the home of the North Texas Soccer Club for the 26th season and beyond. The stadium is part of Mansfield's planned Stable Street Entertainment District, which will also feature hotels, a conference center, a renovated sports park, and entertainment venues. Elsewhere in sports, high school diamond action is wrapping up across the area. The boys' baseball team finishes up this week, while the girls' softball season came to a close last week. Here's how our 5 local schools performed this year. Let's start with Lake Ridge. Baseball finished with a 5-5 record in the district, placing 5th. Softball ended at 4-3 and was good enough for 4th place. Your Mansfield Tigers baseball posted 6-4 to take 3rd place, while the softball team wrapped up a 7-5 district season, also landing in 3rd place. Legacy, a strong season all around. Baseball went 10-2 for 2nd place behind Boswell, and softball dominated at 12-0 to clinch the top spot. Summit Baseball closed out the year 2-10 in 7th place, and softball squad finished 0-10, also in 7th place. And Timberview Baseball came in at 7-5, landing in 5th place, while the softball team ended 8-6, earning a 4th place finish. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, you can reach out to us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. Again, that voicemail number, 817-435-2938. Still don't know who to vote for? Come on now. Our city council and school board candidate interviews are available on the About Mansfield website. Visit aboutmansfield.com and spend 30 minutes with each of the candidates, or each of the candidates who granted an interview. Again, aboutmansfield.com. At the top of the page, click on the interviews link. This coming Saturday, April 26th, is National Pretzel Day. Yeah, it's twisted, it's salty, and it's got its own day. National Pretzel Day. One day out of the year where carb loading is not just accepted, it's encouraged. Whether you like them soft, crunchy, dipped in mustard, smothered in queso, or suspiciously cinnamon sugar coated, pretzels are stepping into the spotlight. Legend says the pretzel dates back to monks in the 7th century, because nothing says spiritual enlightenment like a doughy knot. Have you tried the pretzel, by the way, at Dirty Jaw Brewing? Oh my, it's definitely worth stopping in just to try one, or maybe a few. Besides, pretzels and beer go together like dads and bad puns, like sunshine and flip-flops, or my favorite, like karaoke night and overconfidence. This coming Saturday is also my wife and my 38th wedding anniversary, so I just might take her out for a pretzel. Go ahead, embrace the twist. After all, it's the only time you'll be encouraged to get a little salty in public.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we're talking about something that's so simple: getting outside and enjoying the beauty of spring. And Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, imagine an elegant collision of Kentucky's finest spirit and France's Royal Raspberry Liqueur.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by the Grandview Event Venue in Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
Congratulations to Jeffrey Norton, who knew that Newsom Stadium opened in 2006 and can seat 11,134 football, soccer, and marching band fans. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield area restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. Colleen, fire up the robots.
Well, Steve, this week's trivia question has to do with robots, local robots, lots of local high school robots. Simply put, what is the name of the Ben Barber robotics team? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, what is the name of the Ben Barber robotics team? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
I'm Jason Moore, Executive Director of Mansfield Economic Development Corporation, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here with information on the benefits of soaking up the great outdoors this spring in Methodist Mansfield. News to know. Angel?
Spring is here, and there's something magical about this time of year. The flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, and the air is just a little bit warmer. It's the season of renewal, and what better way to refresh your mind and spirit than by stepping outside? But here's the catch. Too many of us are glued to our screens these days. Whether it's our phones, our laptops, or our tablets, we spend a lot more time indoors, often plugged into the digital world, than we do outdoors. It's time to change that. Let's talk about why it's so important to get outside and unplug this summer. First off, there are huge benefits to spending time outdoors, especially in the spring. Getting outside can reduce stress, boost your mood, and improve your overall well-being. In fact, studies show that just 20 minutes in nature can lower cortisol levels, the hormone related to stress, and help you feel more relaxed. I know what you're thinking. I don't have time to spend outdoors. But the truth is, you don't need to go for a long hike or spend an entire day in the park to reap the benefits. Even small moments, like a walk around the block, a few minutes on your porch, or sitting outside with a good book, can have a big impact on your mental and physical health. And let's not forget the sunshine. One of the best things about spring is the opportunity to soak up some natural vitamin D. Exposure to sunlight helps your body produce vitamin D, which is crucial for bone health, immune function, and even mood regulation. Just a little bit of time outside can boost your energy levels and leave you feeling more vibrant. But here's the key. Getting outside isn't about the sunshine or the fresh air. It's also about taking a break from our screens. Technology has its place, but sometimes it feels like we're constantly connected, distracted, and often overwhelmed. When's the last time you spent an afternoon outside without checking your phone every 5 minutes? It's tough, right? But that's why now, more than ever, it's important to make time to disconnect and really enjoy the present moment. So how can you make sure you're getting outside and disconnecting from the digital world? Here's a few tips. Set boundaries for your digital use. Maybe it's an hour in the morning where you check your email and then put your phone away for a walk or some time outdoors. Or make an agreement with yourself to leave the phone inside while you enjoy the outdoors. No text, no scrolling, just you and nature. You don't need to go on a grand adventure to enjoy nature. Start by taking a walk in your neighborhood, enjoying a coffee on your porch, or sitting outside during lunch. Small amounts of time outdoors can help recharge your body and mind. This is a great time of year to try a new outdoor activity, whether it's hiking, cycling, or even something as simple as a nature scavenger hunt with your kids. Moving your body in nature is a great way to get exercise while clearing your mind. Getting outside can also have great social benefits. Take a friend, a family member, or your pet along for the ride. Whether you're walking in the park, having a picnic, or simply chatting outside with a friend, being in nature can make socializing even more enjoyable. And of course, don't forget to just breathe. Nature has a way of helping us slow down and be present in the moment. Sometimes the best thing you can do is simply sit outside, take a few deep breaths, and appreciate the beauty around you. Remember, this time of year, it's all about renewal and rejuvenation. So my challenge to you this spring, put down your phone, step outside, and take time to enjoy the sunshine, the fresh air, and the natural beauty that surrounds you. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. I'm Angel Biasatti for About Mansfield Podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up an elegant collision of Kentucky's finest spirit with France's Royal Raspberry Liqueur in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian.
This week's feature is the Bastille Bourbon Smash, a transatlantic tribute that marries American whiskey tradition with French luxury. While the classic smash dates back to Jerry Thomas's 1862 bartending guide, our French twist incorporates Chambord, the magnificent black raspberry liqueur whose origins date back to the Loire Valley in the early 17th century. Legend has it that Louis XIV first tasted Chambord during a visit to the Chateau Chambord, declaring it magnifique. The liqueur's recipe, which includes Madagascar vanilla, Moroccan citrus peel, honey, and cognac, remains still one of France's best-kept secrets, still produced within sight of the chateau today. But don't worry about taking notes as I'm giving out the ingredients and instructions. I'll always post them every Wednesday to bourbongospel.com. Ingredients: 2 ounces of bourbon. Choose one with notable vanilla and caramel notes. Maker's Mark definitely fits this bill. A half ounce of Chambord, the black raspberry liqueur from France. A half ounce of fresh lemon juice, 4 to 5 fresh blackberries for more garnish, and a fresh mint sprig for additional garnish. How do we make this French-American alliance? In a mixing glass, gently muddle the blackberries. Then add the bourbon, Chambord, and lemon juice. Fill with ice. Shake vigorously. Can everyone say 15 to 20 seconds? Yep, that's it. Double strain into a rocks glass over fresh ice. Garnish with a skewered blackberry and a mint sprig. So what are we going to pick up on this cocktail? First thing you're going to pick up is that rich bourbon. You're going to pick up those beautiful black raspberry notes. Second, you're going to pick up those fresh berries and the fresh citrus from the lemon juice. And the finish is going to be smooth. It's going to be complex. And it's going to have lingering fruit notes for you. Why this fusion for mid-April? As spring brings the first berries of the season, we honor both the American tradition of the smash cocktail and the French art of liqueur making. This delicious reminder is sometimes the best innovations come from unexpected partnerships. Pro tip, your choice of bourbon matters here. Look for ones that have the prominent vanilla and caramel notes to complement the Chambord. 4 Roses small batch, Woodford Reserve, Maker's Mark all fit that note very, very beautifully. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Sellmark CEO James Sellers and Senior Construction Manager Brent Johnson.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Katie Hayes, pastor of Galileo Church, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And an upcoming business and innovation center is coming to Mansfield, spearheaded by Sellmark Corporation in collaboration with the city of Mansfield. The building is expected to help budding manufacturers develop new products, which is part of an innovation district that is focused on incubators, life science research, and advanced manufacturing. The groundbreaking ceremony took place on Monday, and with us in the studio are a couple of key players from the groundbreaking ceremony. To my left, that would be your right, is James Sellers, the CEO of Sellmark. Welcome to About Mansfield.
So good to be here.
And Brent Johnson, he's the senior construction manager, also with Sellmark. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here as well.
Let's start with the name. I have not mentioned the name because I want you all to do this.
All right.
What is the name of the Innovation Center, and how did you come about choosing that name?
So the name is Verdexium.
Verdexium.
Yep, and not to be confused with the metal thrasher band.
Out of New Jersey.
Out of New Jersey, but we do own the .com, so Verdexium.com will be an asset of the community, and that will be where people can go to find out more about it. The name is actually interesting because we went through a host of different name ideas, different brainstorming techniques. So we used all the ideation techniques we used to find solutions to problems of business and to innovate products. And we also used AI prompting to help direct us to find something that was new and original. So we took what we were looking for, and through collaboration with a team of very intelligent people in AI, we came into something that I think really is a unique name that really encapsulates what we're trying to achieve. So that's where Verdexium.
And explain what Verdexium. It's broken down into 3 words.
Right. So we wanted something that's never been used before, other than the thrasher band out in Jersey. So what we're trying to do is basically a place where people have these ideas that they want to work hard and create something meaningful and bring it to life and make it real. And that's our kind of tagline, is where ideas become reality. So Verdexium, what it means is it's 3 parts: ver, and then dex and eum. So ver actually in Latin means truth, and truth kind of in a philosophical sense, where the truth and invention and the muses, the whole notion that in the universe there's ideas and things waiting to be discovered. Even art's an aspect of discovering something that exists has just been hidden from us. Same thing with science endeavors and everything, where a sculptor has a block of stone and they chip away the stone to reveal the truth of the essence of a sculpture, which is trapped inside the stone. And that's a lot of the ways that innovation happens. So that's the ver, which is to seek the truth and bring truth. Dex, we use the word dexterity in English, which means, skillful, balance, those type of things. Dex itself means like hard work, diligent, skillful, but in like a craftsman sense, like the utmost application of a skill or technique to accomplish something.
So if someone's name is Dexter, that means they're a hardworking person?
Dexter must be one talented individual for sure.
Okay.
For good or evil, because every time I see Dexter in a novel or a show, they're usually not the most virtuous individual.
So eum.
So eum is used in scientific notation to denote something that's a physical reality, usually in biology or in the case with our elements. You'll use eum to say this is a state of matter, as a matter of fact, it exists. So what better to have this innovation, these ideas out of the ether pulled out, and then through hard work and effort, we create it and make it real. The Verdexium is going to be helping entrepreneurs and inventors make their ideas reality by having products in the physical that get to the market and help make people's lives better.
For the listeners out there who don't know what an innovation center is, an innovation hub, if you will, give them the Reader's Digest 101 of what an innovation center is.
Sure.
and who are you looking to attract?
Yeah, so there's all sorts of different stakeholders and different approaches in the communities that are trying to help ideas become industries. Silicon Valley is probably one of the areas where you had a hotbed of innovation technology. So, innovation centers at the heart are supposed to help people go from having an idea in their head to start working on it. Most innovation centers work on the ideation side, where they're trying to take this concept, like, I wonder if this would work type of thing, where they use engineering and science, and then they try to use materials, and they try to solve these problems. A lot of times those early stages are proof of concept work, or even patentable ideas that aren't necessarily ready for the market or ready for production. A lot of those, like incubators and startups, they'll help you with business planning. They'll help you try to identify your market, understand the competition, to direct people towards something that can be successful. Yeah. At that time, a lot of the people have competitions. They make pitches. They try to attract capital so that they can move in the market. That's typically what an innovation center brings, some part of that, usually early stage. Once the funding happens, then they usually become a part of a bigger company, or they get spun up and scaled up to go into production. What we're trying to do at Verdexium, which is a little different, is we're trying to help an entrepreneur have another option where they could start making product, we call it production quality prototyping. So it should be indistinguishable from a production piece. So they can take that in the marketplace and solicit orders and get response from real customers giving feedback of what they would pay for that and what they think they could sell in case if it's like a product that would be resold. From there, they get an idea what the market demand is, and then have a ability to do first few runs of production. That way, when they're now looking at engaging the venture capital community, or if they're wanting to raise traditional capital, they have a business plan that's not only on paper, but they actually have a proof of concept with customers waiting to go, orders in hand, and feedback from the market. So that's going to allow them to scale better, make better investment decisions. Hopefully, when they negotiate with raising capital on the equity side, they're going to get much better terms, maintain more control, more ownership, so that really big lift, better percentage of that goes to the founder or the inventor. So it's a little different.
And it's made in America. You're fighting tariffs.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that is going to be an important part of this too, is that we want to do things quick here.
Right.
Now, one of the outcomes of startups should be the ability to put things in the marketplace quickly and then fail quickly. Most startups today take way too long to determine if they're going to be viable or not. Sometimes my experience is 7 to 9 years of effort before a product really gets off the ground. Right. It would be a lot better if those entrepreneurs could get the product tested on the market within a year or two, and then they might find out some other need that's greater and more important. They have 5 more years to go figure that out.
Let's talk with Senior Construction Manager Brent Johnson. And now you're the man with the blueprints, and kind of give a verbal visual to the listeners of what Verdexium is going to look like.
Sure. I started with Sellmark in October of last year, and from the start of it, I was challenged to put the ideas on paper. Prior to me coming on board, James and his staff had reached out to a couple other architects, a couple other designers, and they came up with some concepts. Unfortunately, every one of those concepts was a track building, if you will. They were all tilt wall construction. There was no desire, if you will, by looking at them. So when I came on board, I got with James. We spent a lot of time together. I remember the very first building that I had designed and laid out for him. He looked at it and said, "No, that's not what I want." And then we went to the next design. Then we went to the next one. So it was a period of probably 3 months, maybe 3.5 months or longer, where we went through all these different concepts. And that's really what you have to do. You have to really, you have an idea, and James had ideas of what this building should look like. But then until you put it down on paper and then you start creating elevations and things of that nature, you say, that's really not what I want. So then we ended up with very close to what we have now, having a main atrium, and then there's 2 side entrances for the building as well, which also serve another purpose. And we got to looking at that, and James and I said, you know what? It doesn't have that pop. It doesn't have something that no other building in the area has. And so then we came up with the circular atrium that the building has now. The building is approximately 535 feet long. Yeah. The offices are only about 80 feet deep. So it's going to be a very long building. But the nice thing about that is that there's a lot of glass. The atrium itself is going to have glass from floor to ceiling, roughly 35 feet up. So it's going to have that pop. It's going to have that wow factor to it.
You know what it reminds me of when you say floor-to-ceiling glass is another building here in Mansfield, and that would be the Grandview venue. And how the prototype that I've seen, how the entrance bows out in an arc, and it's like
we love the outdoors, though. Can't you tell?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I mean, honestly, everything we've done is kind of we looked into nature and we reflect upon that. We try to take those lessons and make something else. So I think no better way than an innovation center to start with looking outside and letting the light and kind of bring in the building.
And with that, we incorporated a lot of those options to this. For example, we'll have a glass elevator, which again allows you to see out and see what's going on there. There'll be a floating staircase in the main entrance area, and it'll have glass panels along the sides of it as well. So that aspect, and like James said, that was one of the things we really wanted to do, was to be able to allow people to bring the outside in, as opposed to getting back to the concrete walls and just manufacturing type environment.
There's a couple things about the atrium too that's kind of work in progress. One of the things I'd like to see if we can accomplish, because again, the form and function to me is at the heart of good engineering.
Yeah.
And I'd like a space where we could take the products that are patented and invented in Mansfield and showcase those. Not even, ideally it'd be ones that were invented and developed inside Verdexium. But, there's also been, we have over 100 patents to Sellmark. I know there's other companies in town that have patented things and made marvelous things. Sometimes the engineering work they did is really like art. But also, wouldn't it be kind of cool to show art forms as well? It's not just engineering work.
Did I read somewhere that there's going to be a museum?
Well, that's what we're talking about. We'd like to do that. And, what we have to figure out, and again, we have to have a space that works for startups. And startups by nature have to be utilitarian, it has to be efficient, it has to get the job done. So when we had this vision of doing all this glass and making this amazing public space, it's a little bit contrary to normal economic structures. Usually innovation centers are reclaimed, it could be abandoned warehouses, factories, it could be even like old storefronts and retail spaces. And to say the least, they're not like this. Yeah. So we're making something different. What we will need some help with, and talking with the community, is we have to figure out a way to display those things. So we have to figure out a pedestal that could have maybe a lit pedestal where you can put product examples on. But we also want a place where we could have, an inventor could come out and talk about his business vision and stuff, and have people in the community maybe come in.
Nice.
And but we need to make that into tables or something. So we need to hang in the windows some examples of the different businesses and inventions and artwork. So we're going to have to make that space come alive but still be functional. We really hope this becomes a focal point for the community, people, the mentoring, supporting the entrepreneurs and the startups. We even would love – this is something I'd love to see happen. I'd love to see everyday people take some of their savings and invest in new great ideas so they can get that 25-35% ROI that currently is limited to the venture capitalists. Right. I think it'd be great if we have some more community involvement and community reward for these companies.
Brent, when can the Mansfield public expect to step their foot into the brand new Verdexium?
It's a great question.
It's why I'm the host.
In construction, especially a building of this size, there's a number of variables and a number of uncontrols. The biggest one obviously being the weather.
Yeah.
The good thing, though, is we're starting to enter into more of the spring, into the summer months where we're not going to really experience that issue. But I think realistically, we're going to look at first quarter of next year is when the building will become the reality.
How many square feet are we looking in total in the building?
Sure. The total building square feet's 167,000 square feet. There will be.
I want to make a comment on that because on the press release they said 140. So what's the difference between 140 and 167? What's the
26,000 square feet?
26,000
is the difference.
That is exactly the difference. But I'm wondering, did they exclude some of the spaces?
When I had heard about that or read that, I was didn't know where that came from.
I don't know where that came from. I thought maybe it was the space available for innovation, and the rest was common space or something.
Yeah, I don't know where they came from that, but the building is going to be 167,000 square feet. Office production space will be just about 75,000 square feet, and those will be located on 2 floors. Wow. We've designed it in such a way where the second floor manufacturing will be allowed for, we call them lighter weight machinery, lighter weight equipment, for obviously for the structural reasons. The first floor will be able to support really any weight that you want. We will, as mentioned earlier, we will have a glass elevator. That's more of the for people. We will have a freight elevator in there, which will allow those on the second floor to bring equipment in, product in, through either a ground level dock or a traditional dock high. Yeah. So they can actually bring product in that way. Each of the suites at the back of the rooms will have powered coil overhead doors, which allow them to access a hallway along the back as well. So, we've looked at this a lot of different ways, even down to not getting into the weeds, but even down to the amount of power we're going to have at the building. First, we were looking at 2,000 amps, 483 phase, and we got to looking at it and talking. We said, no, we needed more. So, as James is saying, there's a lot going into this building. There's a lot of cost that's going into this building that we didn't anticipate on the front end, but we know that we needed to design it. We need to build it for the future, for allowing companies to come in and take in really any size spaces they want. So all that being said, we're bringing in 4,000 amps. So we're doing that.
Some heavy equipment.
We're bringing in the so to allow them. That was their thing, is we wanted to make sure that would allow anybody that needed to come in, that needed that much amperage, needed that much volts, to allow that. We're even designing the air conditioning system to allow for multiple different suites in there, because when you design and build a building, you typically, you pretty much all the time, what your offices are going to lay out. Yeah. And you can lay out the mechanicals for that. You can lay out the plumbing, electrical for that. But what we're doing is the building is going to be built in such a way where there's going to be a lot of open space. And that open space is for those that want to come in and only want 1,000 square feet or only want 2,000 square feet. So when you're designing and building a building such as this, you need to take that in consideration for your mechanical system. And without knowing where everything was going to go, we're going with a system that's going to allow us to break that up and allow each of the suites to have the ability to climate control their own space. And that became a very large cost for us on this. But again, we're looking to see what we can do for the future with it.
It sounds like a first-class building.
It's going to be a very first-class building.
I know there's probably at least one listener out there that is going, where the hell is this going to be at? Because we've been talking now for about 20 minutes, and we've not even said where this is going to be. So where, and if there's a budding manufacturer out there who has an idea, how can they get a hold of Verdexium?
For Mansfield, it's on one of the main thoroughfares connecting the two arteries of 360 and 287, which is Heritage. We are going to be situated right next to Sellmark's headquarters on a 20-acre plus area. The 160,000 plus square feet building is going to be the first of potentially 4 buildings on that location.
Wow.
Eventually, that could encompass over 400,000 square feet of state-of-the-art production and innovation space. We are also working on plans this summer on another 10 acres to have a state-of-the-art testing training facility with an indoor fire range and outlet for some of the inventions and things we create here in Mansfield. So there's a whole site being developed right between 360 287 off Heritage.
Right next door to Sellmark.
Right next to Sellmark.
And Podcast Mansfield. 2201 Heritage Parkway is the Sellmark building, and so the Verdexium will be right next door. This sounds, like, as I said, like a Class A, first-class type of building. Something that Mansfield is going to be very, very proud of, and I can't wait. First quarter of next year, that's going to be very cool.
Yes, sir. That's what we're hoping for.
Verdexium, it's going to open. James Sellers, CEO of Sellmark, Brent Johnson, the Senior Construction Manager, also with Sellmark. Congratulations, and can't wait to see what comes up next year.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, our candidate series continues, and we will talk in studio with mayoral candidate running for re-election, Michael Evans. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, or love this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, 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 ever send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without written consent is strictly prohibited. Thank you all for listening. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.